minutes from October.
This conference will now be recorded.
To record the record.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now it's being recorded. Okay, now we'll call the meeting to order. And I'll ask for approval of the minutes from October 13th. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes from October 13th.
Thank you, Frank. A second? Jennifer?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. Mary, can you give us the update on economic development?
Yes. We're preparing for our Moody's and S&P calls at the end of the week. And we didn't have them the normal time of year because of COVID. But one of the things we discovered was that all of our major businesses are either the same or have significantly more employees. So, the major employers in Stratford, manufacturers, are all faring very well right now, which is good news. And speaking of one of them, Amazon, they are currently at 230 employees. And I don't know yet. We haven't heard what they'll be doing for the seasonal hiring. So we'll wait to hear. We'll hear that. The next is the Army engine plant. We have been having regular weekly meetings, and we're looking at getting a record of decision. We're hoping before the end of the year, which can then move forward and start the work on, remediating the mud flats. So that would be a big step if we could do that. The Shakespeare property subcommittee, they are being invited to a special RDA meeting on December 3rd to present to the RDA their findings, what they looked into in terms of what could fit, would be appropriate, the different choices that might be put on the property. 495 Lordship Boulevard is the old Exxon building. And, this building has been moving along with record speed in terms of what record speed is in our world. They closed December 2019. They got all the land use approvals. They now have them demolished, remediated. They're going for a permit for the building and looking now into marketing and leasing the building. So that's really good news. Route 110, I think I told you, that's been completed. It's all set. Exit 33 full interchange, that is ahead of schedule. They're hoping that they can work through the winter of December through April. And they're hoping to be completed prior to the July 2021 expected completion date. I think I told you about Complete Streets. That is in, I believe, a 30% design, and we're going to have our technical advisory meeting, which is internal. That would be like John Casey and other internal folks, and then it will be followed by a public information meeting. So we're really excited about that. I know many of you have kept up to speed on that, and it's a real step in the right direction. Once the design's done, we do have a LOTSIP grant from the state for $2 million to actually construct it. So that's exciting news. It's finally coming to fruition. On 640 Access Road, we have Night Shift Brewery. Just opened a huge distribution center there. They work out of Massachusetts and are expanding their line down to this area. So that was good news. Orrin Oak Birdhouse has just opened for a call-in on online orders. They are where the Hudson Deli is located, or was located. It looks like they have some really good, lobster rolls, specialty burgers, fried chicken sandwiches. So if you get a chance and you're in Stratford Center, check them out. Nuova Pasta is still expanding. Pardon?
I said it's good.
Nuova Pasta is still expanding. Who did? Oh, okay. Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, good. Nuova Pasta is expanding their footprint, and CDI just leased the entire 280 Garfield Avenue building, which is 27,000 square feet and a 34-foot clearance. So they've been looking for extra space for a while now. The Knott's Landing, which is over where the Stop and Shop is, where the storage facility is, that Chipotle should be opening any week now, per Brian Donovan. And then I believe I told you Shannon Landscaping is hoping to close on a new location soon and expanding as well. And I think that's it for now because I'm going to wait to talk about Stratford Strong till we get down to old business. So I'm all set. Anybody questions on some of these economic news?
Mary, what did you say was going into 280 Garfield Avenue?
That's Connecticut distributors are, they needed more storage space. They've been looking for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, no other questions on that report? Then we'll move on to new business and discuss the Connecticut Cares Small Business Grants Program.
Okay, I'll start and then I'll let Karen Sportini jump in on this. So you've probably heard about it. The state is trying to find a bridge to help small businesses with 20 or less employees or 1.5 million or less in payroll by providing grants for them. The site was supposed to open on Monday, they hoped, and it did not. It did not open today either. We've reached out to all of our businesses to let them know, or as many as we could. We have, a lot of different lists of businesses to let them know to please apply as soon as possible. It's $50 million, and I'm sure that will go quick. It's a one-page application and supposedly very easy to apply for businesses. And we're hoping that a lot of our businesses can take advantage of it. They are segregating or not segregating, but they would like to be able to provide 50% of that 50 million to distressed communities, of which Stratford is one of those. So we have told our businesses to please make sure they provide that information on the grant so that maybe they would have a better shot, because there's a lot of businesses here in Connecticut and 50 million will go very quickly. Karen is kind of on hold waiting so she can notify everybody when it goes online. Karen, is there anything I left out?
I don't think so, Mayor. Just that, as always, like as with every thing that we work on in our office, if you folks could help to be our ambassadors as well, we will do as much outreach as we possibly can. We have so many emails and we feel like we're in good shape that way, but there are always going to be those who fall through the cracks. So if you would help us by reaching out to any small businesses with whom you have relationships, perhaps your businesses are neighbors of one another. It's going to happen quickly. The application is kind of on a rolling basis, so the sooner people apply, the better their chances are. So we want to make sure that people are aware that it's available and are able to get to it ASAP.
Is that going to be on our website, the
It'll
link?
be all over the place, Jim. Yes. Actually, it currently is on our website under, you're probably, hopefully you're all familiar with this. On the homepage of the town website, there's a pretty bright red banner across the top. And within that banner, there are a few different links, but one of them is critical resources for Stratford businesses. And if you click on that, it will bring you to a page on the economic development section of the website, and it lists so many different resources. And one of them is the Connecticut Cares Small Business Grant.
And how about on the email that Laura Hoydick sends out 3 times a week? It comes to my email and I think it
Right.
goes.
We'll make sure that Mike has it in that as well. And actually, right now, our email footer, Karen Doyle created a graphic so that if you click on our office's email footer, I believe the mayor's as well, that will take you directly to the application, or the overview of the application right now. And as soon as it's live, it will take you to the live application.
So when the mayor sends out that email or social link 3 days a week, there's a section there for our commission. It'll have that link somewhere in there for small business, right?
Absolutely.
But right now you can't apply yet. It's not. You're saying we're on a waiting.
Live yet. The application has not been completed.
All right.
We're just on hold. They said the week of 11/9, and we were hoping it would be Monday, and then it wasn't yesterday, and it wasn't today. And we've had the help of Dan too, telling us, oh, it's not up yet, or we're kind of all working the different organizations and giving everybody a heads up as soon as we hear about it.
Yeah, Layman said on the that CETUS call, Mary, that it would be probably tomorrow afternoon or evening.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sounds like it's going to be a race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it will be,
that way.
unfortunately. Yeah.
And it's available to nonprofits as well.
Okay.
Yes. So the next thing, the Shop Small survey, I will have Karen Doyle fill you in on that.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Shop Small is coming up. It's the nationwide event that is hosted by American Express. It is scheduled for the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which is November 28th. And this year, we were kind of scratching our heads around how we could support our retail here in Stratford, because we don't know where we're going to be on November 28th, or people are going to be allowed to go into stores. So we're kind of doing a full circle approach to it. We'll support people's storefronts and their online marketplace. And the best way that we thought to reach out to the business owners who are so inundated with all of these grants and trying to put all the pieces back together before the holidays come up, we thought the easiest way to do it was to send out a quick survey. I think there are 5 questions on it, and it's just, do you want to participate? What's the name of your business? If you want to participate, do you want to give some sort of promotion or incentive? Not mandatory, it's totally up to them. And then we're going to combine our efforts with Howard Aspinwall, who is the owner of the Mellow Monkey. He's always been a great collaborator with Shop Small, and he and I will join forces to get a website up and running, get some graphics to post on social media, and just do what we can to support the small businesses. And I'm thinking that when we think about the copy and we think about how we're going to frame it in our approach, it's not going to be just to Shop Small on the one day. It's going to be to Shop Small throughout the holiday season. We all know that the Amazons of the world are going to survive, but let's make sure that we're supporting our small businesses as well.
Okay, that's a good idea. Any
questions on that?
So are we deciding if you're going to do the survey, or you are doing the survey?
We decided that we are going to do the survey. I've been waiting to send it out to all of the small businesses because I wanted to make the Connecticut Cares Grant email a priority. So once the email goes out to the small businesses, it will be up to them to participate. And this way, if something happens and we aren't allowed to go into stores, the small business owners, the survey takes literally 1 minute to complete. So it's not like they're dedicating a lot of time to participate. And obviously it's free to them. We're not charging for it. So it's just a quick and easy way for them to let us know if they want to be involved.
Should we add any questions to the survey that might be helpful to us, or do we want to keep it simple? For example, do they have any ideas as to how we can help them additionally?
I'm happy to add an additional comment. Mara, do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm waiting for my microphone to turn on. I think that keeping the surveys we have found simple and quick, so we get more of a response, has worked for us. But if there's something in particular, I mean, we are offering all the different options for shopping. So I don't know what other options they could give us. You know, we're saying online, at the store. We're kind of allowing them to do whatever type of promotion they want to. We just, Karen, and I'm skipping ahead, but we just did a survey for the CDBG, and we found that when we keep it simple, just a few questions, we get a much larger number of people responding to it.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right, Dan, I believe you're going to cover the BRBC holiday auction.
Yes. So in the same vein of shopping small and realizing, we're probably not going to be doing like the big welcome center and all that stuff with Shop Small Saturday. We thought that, and couple the fact that with our annual event, which typically is several hundred people we get together for the BRBC, we thought we could take advantage of this virtual world and do what we're calling an online auction. I sent the flyer over to Karen's, both Karen's. I'm not sure who's the presenter, but if you want to share it, you can. Otherwise, I can email it over to all the folks on the phone. But basically what we're doing is we asked all our board members, not just at the BRBC, but throughout the chambers and all of our committees, if they would get together and put together some auction items. And what that means is let's shop local, right? Let's buy some items, roughly $100 value that we can either bundle or package or put together. And then what we'll do is we'll take the time from, the timeline is on the flyer. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So what we're doing right now is we're soliciting these auction items from now through probably the 13th or so. And then what we'll do is we'll add them onto this online auction site called 32 Auctions that we have a little bit of experience with. Some of our colleagues throughout the state have also used it. And then we're going to take about 2 weeks or so, basically leading up through our BRBC annual event to have this auction online where people can, and it's not just limited to members, anybody can visit and do their holiday shopping. But the point of it is ultimately is to shop local, right? Let's support our local businesses, whether they're members or not, doesn't matter. Especially as Jim pointed out before, these restaurants, I think as we go into the winter season, it's going to be tough. So whatever we can do to support that in some way, we thought we would put this event together for our region, or this opportunity for people to do some holiday shopping and support our local businesses, and at the same time create some kind of a fun atmosphere with this online auction to generate some revenue as well. So that's the idea of it. We haven't done anything like this in quite some time, I don't think, or if not ever. But realizing that winter months are coming, we need to do more for our smaller businesses. There's a whole list of ideas that we came up with beyond just restaurants, but there's a lot of service organizations and businesses out there that can use our help, whether it's car washes or detailing, things of that nature. So that's what we're working on. Kate Tipa has been leading that effort. I think we've got about a half a dozen baskets back in to us. Bigelow Tea has sent something over, and some others. So that's the idea, is if we can generate some buzz for these small businesses and let us shop local and support our local businesses throughout this holiday, as Karen pointed out, with Shop Small Saturday, I think we have to look beyond just the one day and throughout the entire season. So your support obviously is helpful. If this group wants to pitch in a basket or individually, that's fine too. I can connect you with Kate as she's kind of pulling together what we've got in the pipeline.
Can you send that email link to the members of our commission, Dan, or can run it through Karen or Mary?
Yeah,
I'm happy to forward that. I have all the emails.
Yeah, you know what I'll do? Karen? I'll send you the emails that Kate put together because it has suggestions of items.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send that with the flyer again, and you can forward it on to the commission. That'd be great.
Thank you, Dan.
The money, so people donate the basket, and then there's an auction. The money goes towards what?
Well, right now it's to help offset some of our expenses, right, at the BRBC, because our end of year fundraiser
Okay.
our end of year event is our biggest revenue generator, which we're not doing this year.
Right.
Yeah, so the idea is support the local businesses by buying these items. Now we're not asking for donations from any of the smaller organizations, and then we would go ahead and then auction it off.
And you want these in by the 13th of this week, you said, right?
Yeah, I mean, those are loose timelines just to kind of put some urgency behind it. I don't think Kate has the auction going online until she wants to put it online on the 30th. So we have a little bit of time.
And Mary, would it be something we should consider donating to this as?
Oh, as a commission?
I mean, yeah,
That's a great idea.
Is that if we were to take some money out of our budget and just do something, I don't know how you would pick and choose what to donate, but something that would support some of our small businesses in Stratford.
Well, how about if the commission decides on an amount and you leave it up to Karen and I, trust us that we'll put together something with the local businesses and have it be from the Economic Development Commission. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes.
Dan, do you give credit to an organization like ours if we were to donate? Do people know it's?
Yeah, that's what's nice about the online platform. Each item is sponsored by whoever contributed it, right? So we could put the logo, who it is, in this case, we could put the Economic Development Commission and list your names, however you like to do it.
That's great.
Anyone have any opinions on that? Should we come up with a dollar amount and make a proposal here to make a donation to this?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think so. We pick a dollar amount and put it to vote.
I have a question. What's our budget this year?
Well, we have, I don't have the budget here, but we have 25,000 as our budget. And then we haven't nearly gotten close. We talked about putting most of the money towards, marketing. So that, we certainly have enough to put. Dan, what is she looking for, or what are you looking for in terms of the value of the baskets?
Yeah, so she was looking for, from an individual perspective, if everyone can target around $100. And then what we can do is certain items, like if we have a lot of restaurant gift cards, we can kind of package them with other items to raise the value of the item that they're going to bid on. So,
so what we'll do is we'll decide on an amount, but then we'll keep each gift certificate we get to about $100, and then you mix them. We decide on how, depending on what budget we come up with, we'll purchase items at 100 per item, and then they'll decide how they'll. It would be nice though if a basket could be from the Economic Development Commission. So let's decide on an amount and let's make our own basket. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm thinking that even if you did, what if we took $1,000 and did $20, $50 gift certificates, which what that does is it makes people go and then they spend more money. They're not going to just spend the 50, they're going to spend 100. But it makes them go to the restaurant and we can spread it around to the restaurants in Stratford or whatever, people feel. I'm just throwing out an idea. Does that make sense, Dan, if we did something like that?
Yep.
Do we want to approve $1,000 to this effort?
Yes.
If so, we'd have to have somebody make a motion and then we'll have a second and then further discussion if anyone wants to.
I will make a motion to put $1,000 towards the BRBC event for gift cards at $50 a piece and spread it out, and then we'll leave it up to Mary and team to decide.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a second. Is there any further discussion on that? All in favor? I guess I'll say, is there anyone opposed since we're doing this online? Anyone opposed? Opposed? Okay, so that motion passes. So we can, Mary, why don't you work with Dan and we'll donate $1,000 to that effort, okay?
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
And we may not get it to you by Friday, but you'll know that we'll have it. Okay. We'll get it to you by next week if that's okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
So the next, now we're on to old business, Westfield
Jim.
Productions Marketing Videos update. Oh,
Jim,
sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing quick before we move on to old business, kind of new business. So I'm also on the board of directors for the Stratford YMCA, and we're going to be starting a capital campaign because they would like to build a new building. So I don't know if everybody knows, we also bought the property right next to the Y. So if you're looking at the front of the property, there's 2 properties that Y purchased those. So what I would like to suggest is at a future meeting next month, the following month, whenever, is if we could invite the executive director from the Stratford branch and the CEO from the CCYMCA, just so they could talk a little bit about it and help. Maybe the Economic Development Commission could just kind of get the word out. So basically what we're looking for is trying to find somebody, hopefully in Stratford, that's willing to make a big donation kind of to start the process, which I think is going to be a little hard right now, but we're going to try and see what we can do. So I just want them to kind of come pitch their mission, and then if anybody can help, directing them, and hey, I know somebody that had a great experience in the Y in the past and they're currently not involved, and maybe they're looking to make a donation or do something like that. That would be great. So it's something we're going to probably be running for the next couple of years, because we have to raise about, I'm pretty sure most people on here know George Curran. So he's part of the board also on the Y, and helped with the design of the new building, et cetera, also. And we're looking at raising about $11 million or so to build a new building.
Wow. Well, that's a good effort. That's a good initiative, Mark. I mean, I have no problem inviting the executive director to put on the agenda for 5 minutes to discuss the initiative. Yeah. Is that everyone okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody, whoever's in charge of that, just gives me a couple date options, so I can go back to them, whenever, and I'll let them know and see when they're available and who's available to join from there.
Well, our next meeting is December 8th.
Right. Yes, I just saw that.
So if you want to
invite them to that one.
Yeah. Can we do that, Mary and Karen?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
We'll check with Chelsea and see if she's available.
I will. She just emailed me about something else, so I'll reply to her and ask her.
I mean, I'm going to assume that we're going to be meeting virtually for the foreseeable future, at least for now anyway. We haven't had any change of heart in terms of meeting in person right now, just based on what's going on. So, all right, so that's fine. Is there any other new business then? Okay, so Westfield Productions marketing videos update.
Okay, I'll start, and then I can have Karen Doyle add anything to it. We are working on the second version of the hours of film we put in, and that will be based more towards the community, what Stratford, for the residents of Stratford, what we can do in Stratford. And we are in the midst of pulling all the extra, we shouldn't say hours, but minutes of video to put something together and have it out there by mid-December. I believe it was Colin that had talked to us about getting everyone, and Karen, correct me, Karen Doyle, if I'm wrong, but getting everyone to at the same time, or somebody had told us.
Steve Powers, Mayor. Steve
Powers. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Karen. I'll let you talk about it.
No, so Steve Powers, who is the part of the team from Westfield Videos who produced the business video, suggested that we try to do one final push for the business video to try to get the message out there as much as possible. So our plan was to wait for the election dust to settle and then do it after that, so it got as much coverage as we possibly could. So our thinking was that we would resend the video link to members of the community and the people who were featured in the video, and ask them on the same day to just repost it at the top of their Facebook page, the top of their Instagram page, and just do one last big push for this one business video before we start focusing on the community video. Colin, do you have anything to say on that? I think you're kind of like the expert when it comes to social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great. You know, the more you can push cohesively together as a group, the better chance you have of reaching, you know, critical mass for people.
Can you think of any other platforms that we could use to try to reach out to people?
Let me give it a little bit more thought. And I've a small idea that I want to kind of foster offline as well. But yeah, let me give it some thought. Definitely, obviously, Instagram and Facebook would be the two priority ones for whatever people are pushing, whatever companies are pushing those on their accounts. Twitter, it's not really going to be worth it, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, let me give it a little bit more thought, Karen, but those would be the two.
Okay.
Is the community video that we're working on, is that, we've already paid for that, or is that going to be more out of our budget?
We already paid for it.
Okay. So there's still more new content coming that we've already paid for. Okay.
Yes.
If I may just make one point with regard to the business video that's already out there, in addition to the folks that we're going to be resending it to, Randy is going to be providing us with a list of commercial realtors from, Randy, you said New Haven through Stamford, and we could send it directly to them. So that will be in addition to you know, the group we've already sent to, and to anything we'll be posting.
Yes, it'll take me a couple of days to put all that together. I can send it to you in Excel format. I fired off an email. It's important that we just do not send it to the organization. It has to reach the individual brokers because they're the ones in the field. So, you know, but I'll put that together. I'll scrub to make sure that we have the best names possible in terms of being able to interact and appreciate receiving this.
Thank you, Randy.
Any other questions on that? Okay, the housing partnership update.
Yep, I can take that one. So we met this morning to talk about finalizing some plans for a joint meeting that we're going to be having with the Planning Commission and the Zoning Commission on November 17th. So as I mentioned last month, we're at the point now where we've kind of done all of our research and have a few recommendations and a lot of good materials from the consultant. So we're going to meet with those committees and present this information to them and get feedback from those groups as well. And then the plan will be for us to kind of regroup as a partnership and plan for additional public outreach and what the next steps will be. Still shooting to have a plan finalized by the April timeframe as we initially proposed. Any questions on that, Mary? Anything else you would add?
No, that was great, Jen. I felt like today's meeting, we had kind of we've been doing these weekly, hourly meetings that it's been really hard to, how do we say, summarize at the end of each meeting. So I think we all felt like today was a meeting where we're moving forward with a strategy now.
Yeah, we left that meeting with a good plan. It of course was smaller than the full partnership, so I think that helped us move things forward quicker with
it was the chair, co-chair, and staff and our consultant. So yeah, I thought it was a good meeting. So we'll keep you posted at the next meeting on how the planning and zoning went, and we'll have moved along with a few things at that point by December.
Okay, good. Stratford Strong CBDG small business grants. Who's going to address that?
So I can start that, and then I'm going to hand it over to Karen Doyle, who's taking this on. But you remember how, you heard Milford, Fairfield, some of the other towns had their CDBG funds that were going towards businesses, and we were not able to do that in our first round. It went towards our basic needs in Stratford. So there is a second round of $308,000. And Karen put together a survey and went out to businesses, micro businesses, that means 5 or less, to find out if they would be interested if this CDBG funding became available, if they were having difficulty meeting all their financial needs, etc. And if they would be willing to apply for this. And hold on one second, guys. I just have to close the door. It's a little loud. So I'm sorry. So in 3 days' time, we already heard from 63 businesses, so we knew that there was an interest there and a great need. And so we went before the CDBG committee and requested the amount, and then met again, and Karen presented to them, and they agreed to request from the town council to approve $270,000 to go towards small micro businesses to help support them. And Karen, if you could give them just the what Tammy ended up doing so that some of the funds can go out sooner rather than later for the businesses.
Sure, Mary. So the 270,000 that we are getting from CDBG will not be available to small businesses until likely after the holidays. When the mayor found out about this, she really wanted to push us to try to get funds available to small businesses before the holidays. So in order to do that, we had to reallocate some of the grant money that we received back in May and put that towards the small businesses. So Tammy Trojanowski with Community Services, and who's also kind of managing senior services right now, agreed to reallocate $32,000 from her senior services fund to the small business fund. The community development subcommittee approved that as well. And we are working now to figure out how quickly we can create an application and create criteria to try to figure out who gets what when the applications start to come in so that we can get money into people's hands as soon as possible. We're hitting a couple of speed bumps, just red tape around it, but we're doing the best that we can to try to get money in people's hands as quickly as we possibly can.
I have a question about that.
Sure.
Okay, is everyone? Go ahead, man.
I was just curious as to, do we have any forecast of what the criteria is going to be? Because you're also piggybacking on the grant that are being made available from the state, the $5,000 grant, and it's conditional because it's available to those companies that have seen a 20% reduction in their revenue as a result of the COVID. So are you going to try and use that or as a model, or because the criteria is going to be important, because it could be an invitation to, how come not me as opposed to him kind of thing.
Well, they do, Randy, they do have to apply. And it's they have to provide quite a bit of information. They have to provide their tax information. And in speaking to so many of these businesses, the onus is on them to apply. And that's why we're trying to reach out to as many as possible to let them know about it.
Right.
And, our loans will probably run in the range of around 2,500, right, Karen? I mean, and for some of these businesses, they need to pay rent. Their rent's 3,000. So this will be just a little drop in the hat to keep them one more month of paying rent. And they'll have to do quite a bit of paperwork because it's HUD. It's the government, in order to be able to obtain those funds.
Okay. I understand that, and I think that what I was encouraged is when I looked at the application for the state grant, it's really rather simple and direct. And I'm wondering if we could use that as a model.
Go ahead, Karen.
So luckily for us, Fairfield and Milford have run similar programs that have been very successful. And we're lucky that we have a good relationship with both Fairfield and Milford. So we're using their application process as a model. I was just talking to Mary about this today. I need to follow up with Chris Bandecki to see how much information are we actually going to ask the business owners to supply. We already know that we have to ask them for their tax returns. We have to ask them for their 401ks. Fairfield wanted to know information. They wanted their resumes. They wanted their education background. I'm not sure how much of that information we're required to know. And that's something that I have to speak to Chris Bandecki about. Unfortunately, he's out this week. But I don't think that the application for our CDBG grant is going to be as simple as the Connecticut CARES Act, unfortunately.
And that's just simply because we don't have the choice. But anything that we do have the choice on, we're going to try to simplify it and make it as easy as possible for the businesses. Whatever we can get away with not getting from them, we will try to do.
Yeah, I do think that, asking for your investment accounts and all the tax returns, that's going to be a cost. Don't even bother asking for that.
Right.
We can't reach the mission.
I agree. To that end, based off of the responses that we received from the survey that was sent out, just asking if there was a need for this, some of these small businesses, they're on their knees. And I don't think that if they know that as much as $5,000 is available to them, they might be willing to share that information if it means it's going to cover 1, 2, 3 months of rent over the holidays.
Or keep somebody on their payroll, or
keep somebody on their payroll.
Pay the utilities.
Yeah, I agree on the merits, but again, I think if we want to accomplish the mission, to try and keep it as poignant as possible without asking for the same thing as we would have to provide for the PPP program. If you're looking for tax returns, it's not going to happen. I think.
But that is a requirement. That is a requirement of this CDBG grant are the tax returns. Unfortunately.
It's unfortunate because for the PPE program, I didn't have to provide a tax return.
Right. Right.
It's too bad. I think it's going to get in the way of our mission.
I know, and there's no working around that. We're trying to come up with every avenue we can to try to support the businesses. So we're going to cross our fingers that people are willing to share that information so that they can get some funding.
Just a question.
And at the end of the day, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, just a quick question, because I know we're trying to deal with it here in Bridgeport too. Is this application, are you folks, is there a need to have it in Spanish too, or no? It's not as big of an issue in Stratford.
We talked about that.
Okay, I'm just asking because I know I'm trying to deal with the city on their $1 million that they still haven't gotten out. So it's been a tough few months.
Yeah, we did discuss that. In fact, Spanish, we probably should have it even more languages than just Spanish.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking
Stratford.
about the owners of the nail salons and the dry cleaners. They're Asian speaking, so
Some restaurants, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that.
Well, we have a couple resources. Gosh,
I don't know if
I say any of the colleges with language programs.
No, there's through the Small Business Development Center. I think they might be able to have somebody to help you with that. Yeah, I'll look into it. I know Valeria and I were talking about it the other day because I'm trying to, like I said, we're trying to help the city of Bridgeport get their $1 million out, and that's one of the issues.
Yeah, Jan, if you could forward us that info, that would be fantastic. I know that Community Services has a translation service. I don't know how often they use it. I don't know what that relationship is like, but any information you could send our way would be great.
Yeah, I'll look into it for you, Karen. Yep.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I know with Mark Barnhart down in Fairfield too. Like he took the opportunity to ask for additional questions just for his own data gathering purposes. I think I'd like to share that with you. So to Randy's point, maybe you make those decisions on what to include and whatnot. So I'm sure you're thinking
I did spend time talking to Mark Barnhart on that as well. He was very helpful. He shared whatever he could. Just to let you know, Jim Benson's having some connection problems, so if we don't hear him, we'll finish up the meeting, but then we'll have Frank adjourn if needed. He just texted me. One of the things that I wanted to.
I'm still here.
Oh, Jim, are you
I'm
there?
still here, but I lost half of that.
Okay. Well, we can fill you in. It was just talking about CDBG, the funding that we're trying to do for businesses. One of the things we wanted to add to the list that we didn't have on here, that Karen Sportini reminded me of, is an update on Celebrate, which Karen Doyle can do for you, if that's okay, Jim.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead,
fine.
Karen.
I don't know if you can hear me, but you're coming in and out. So yeah, that's fine.
We hear you, Jim.
I'm missing half of what people are saying, so I apologize.
We're not saying anything right now, but Karen Doyle, can you update them on Celebrate?
Sure. Oh, Celebrate Stratford. We haven't been able to do too much. We haven't been able to do really anything. I was very hopeful that we would be able to do some sort of socially distanced event for the holidays. Tried to get really creative, and then we found out that we were in phase 2.1. So we can't do a tree lighting because we can't have no more than 100 people on the town hall green. How are we going to police that? How are we going to manage that? We tried to do an online registration for photos with Santa. Santa and Mrs. Claus are on a fire truck. Your kids go stand underneath, on the ground, and you get a picture taken. Based off of what the health department said we could do, we would be able, if we opened it up for a 3-hour window, we would only get to take 45 pictures. So how do we do that? So we are not doing our traditional tree lighting event. The tree will still be lit on town hall. I think we'll be doing some sort of virtual event. We are doing, the mayor is working really, really hard with Public Works to decorate more of the buildings here in town. They're decorating all town buildings. So police headquarters, all the fire departments, Bird's Eye, some of the buildings at Booth Park. More lamp posts are going to be decorated, more trees around town. So it's going to be a little bit more festive. But I'm still really holding on to hope that we can get something going on with Santa, because I have small kids and this will be the only time they see Santa this year. We're not going to the mall. We're not going to Bass Pro Shops. So if anybody has any suggestions as to how we can do this safely and inclusively, that would be terrific.
Hey, Karen, would there be an opportunity? Sorry.
We also have Athletic Brewing Company way back in the day offer to sponsor some sort of holiday event. So I'd like to be able to, put their name on something to give them recognition for their sponsorship of a Celebrate event.
Would it be possible to do more than one location for a Santa like Lloyd, tap into local businesses that have larger spaces, being Two Roads for one example, that have a parking lot to do an extra and set up a couple throughout Stratford all in the same time or a couple different times.
We talked about that, and then it turned into a conversation like, are we biting off more than we can chew?
Sure.
Everybody seems to love the idea of Santa on a fire truck. I don't think that our fire chief is going to be willing to give up all of his firehouses at the same time for one afternoon to support this initiative.
We really wanted to do that.
Like, trust me,
Humbug.
I spent all last week and all this weekend trying to figure out ways to make this happen. So
I'm gonna have to drop.
If anybody has any ideas, let me know.
You can email us if you think of something.
Or if you hear, I know I talked to you about this the other day on a different meeting. If you hear about what other towns are doing, if like neighborhoods are doing something, I read something today on Facebook that at 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve, everyone in Lordship is going to go on their front lawns and bang pots and pans to let Santa know that they're there. Just something. If anybody can think of anything, let me know. And as far as Celebrate Stratford, where we go looking forward, Restaurant Week is usually the first thing that kicks off the new year. That happens in March. Obviously, that didn't happen this year. The feedback that we're getting from restaurants, especially after we go back into phase 2, is that they're not going to offer some sort of a promotion. They're not doing early bird specials. They're not doing happy hours. So we're just going to have to wait and see where we net out after the holidays, after winter.
See what after the holidays brings for that, right?
So this isn't really it's not for Celebrate Stratford specifically, but can I show you guys something that we're working on here at Two Roads in relation to a project that will be coming out with in a couple weeks, actually, for our anniversary. I don't know if someone can make me the presenter.
Mary, do you know how to do that?
I don't. How do I do that?
The 3 dots. Click the 3 dots on my name, and it should say Make Presenter.
What? Okay, I'm on your. Okay, let me look here.
There, I did it.
You did it. Thank you.
So, just to kind of pay tribute to the town that's given back to us over the past couple months and years during COVID, we are going to be named Beer Strat City, and we worked with local artist Alex Harris from FTS Gallery to design and bring kind of Strat City, that forest and shore vibe, to life a little bit. So this will be a limited release beer that we'll be coming out with, and on December 18th to celebrate our anniversary, and just kind of say thank you to everyone in Stratford who supported us through the past year during all the ups and downs.
Well, that's awesome.
I
love that.
Yeah. Alex did a great job.
That's really great.
And Colin, how's the beer?
The beer is phenomenal. Yeah, it's one that we've been working on for a couple of years, actually, if you can believe it.
We're gonna have to stop over there and have a little taste test with the commission, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I was just talking to my leadership team here just about there's any way that I'm gonna try to see if I can give a 4-pack to a lot of the businesses that have supported us throughout this year and continue to support us, and in addition to obviously selling it for customers and all that, and potentially even doing a charity overlay, but more to be discussed in the coming weeks.
Thanks.
Great. That's awesome.
Really good. Really good.
Karen, I lost connection there, but I heard you on the Christmas event. I mean, it won't be applicable this year, I'm sure. But I did offer to the mayor that I'm a piano player and I have all the equipment. If we ever had an event where you needed background piano music or Christmas caroling, I can do that. But I don't think that'll work this year, unfortunately.
You might regret saying that, but thank you.
We actually offered Jim
again.
early on for any restaurant, but I think because of the live music.
I'm losing everyone.
Okay. Well, we're done. We're pretty much done unless anyone has anything additional to say.
Thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. I'm sorry.
Frank, you wanna take over to adjourn the meeting?
Yes, certainly. Certainly. If there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I will motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mark, second.